All right, that's better. The chat is fixed. So that's a good thing. Chat is fixed. If you want to chat at me, you can now. Before it was just a blank screen. YouTube gives me fits. Okay, so what I did here was I polished it with rubbing compound, and that took some of the. Let go back a little farther. Okay, when I start building these airplanes, I first start with 36 grit sandpaper. That's to remove the bulk of the material to get to shape. Then I shape it with 80. You got to know when to stop. Then I go down to 180, then 220, then 320. I don't sand any farther than 320 normally until the clear is on. So not only do I have a chemical bond, but I have a mechanical bond because that's tooth. So you sand it down to 320 now, and you put your base coat on, and I only use 1/2 pint. That's it. That's all the white. This is one coat of white on this airplane. That's it. The rest is just airbrushed on this Dr. Pepper stencil and the shell and the snap-on and everything else, the stun hanger. As if you've been following the videos, you can see. So now we're at 320. I've shoot the clear on. I miss the 600 grit step because it's not necessary. I just leave the 600 out unless I want extra work. I go right to 1500. After I've shot the clear, I go right to 1500 and start leveling it. So that's one coat of clear on it. Level it out with 1500. Use a block wet sand with 1500. Then the second coat of clear goes on. Then you're going to sand with 2000. The third coat of clear that goes on, and that's all you're going to get out of 1/2 quart because that's what you're allowed. 1 quart of paint, half for base and half for top coat. Then you're going to go to 2000 to get it leveled, 3000, then 5000. Then you're going to go up through the grits. So it's 7,000, 10,000, and 15,000. And you say, well, that's ridiculous. Well, all that is just like they do chrome plating. When a chromer gets his part that he's going to chrome, he sands it with sandpaper, and he makes that part shine like John did with the spinner here. It had 80 grit scratches in it. And he sanded it for me with 180, 220, 320, then 600, then 1000, and then polished it. Well, it's probably not even ready to chrome yet. A chrome plater would probably polish that down to 10,000 or 15,000 and get a mirror-like finish, and then chrome plate it. And that's the same theory that, thank you for the like, that's the same theory that you have to go with when you're painting. This is not a car. It's not a motorcycle. You can use no material. If you're adding a lot of material, you're adding a ton of weight. This thing is 62 ounces now, or 61.65, give or take 62, whatever. To me, that's 4 ounces overweight. It should be 58 ounces for this wing to perform like the Junar. And I've made the decision today I am going to repair that. So be looking for some repair videos. The one that I was working on today is hanging on the wall where the Monado used to hang. The Monado's back in St. Louis. Yes, I do. My hinges, though. I have, if you look on my channel for hinges, I think I did a Nobler with plate hinges, and I did my rest of them with my hinges that I designed. And these hinges are by far superior. Thank you very much, CW. We're just going through the polishing technique tonight. It takes about, I would say, to properly polish this airplane, it's at least going to take you 40 hours. Me, anyway, it takes 40 hours, because what I'm looking for when I'm polishing these things, is there any, I don't know how to explain it. It's not overspray, and it's not orange peel, and it's just not quite like Monocoat. So you have to finesse this to make it as slick as Monocoat, and the only way to do that is sand and rub, and it takes, it's going to take a while. So anyway, we did this part here with the rubbing compound. Now I'm going to go into it with the polishing compound. Change pads. We're going to go to, let's see, I had some other pads. We're going to go to a soft pad. Now, there's some polishers on the, no, you don't need to go to 15K. It's just what I do. There's some polishing videos on YouTube that swear by these open wool pads. I just don't see an advantage. I think these things burn. So I got one. We'll try it, but I don't see an advantage to it. So we're going to go to the ultimate polish now. This is Meguiar's ultimate polish, but this is not the final step. This is 10,000. I better not flip that on the floor. I'll just have to be cleaning it up tomorrow. Thanks. So little spot size of a quarter on there, a little bird dropping. We'll say we're going to change that out for that pad there. I'm going to show you another little secret. So I've moved this. I'm going to move this around here, so it doesn't. I don't want it splattering all over the room. This has a real. It has a real petroleum smell to it, but not quite as bad as the Finesse It. But Finesse It's 15,000. Okay, so we got that. Now, here's a trick. When you buy these pads, let's look at this pad here. When you buy these pads, they have a hard edge right here. Cut that hard edge off. So when you roll up into the fillet, that hard edge doesn't dig into the side. Just a tip. But you still got to watch it, because your drive pad, the hard edge of the drive pad is pretty wide. Another trick is to get a ball driver, screwdriver, Phillips, whatever. Spin this up and clean it off. I'll get the dirt off anyway. Looks like I'm going to have to buy some more of these pads. Bring a little more heat into it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Can you see the difference? You can see the lights now pretty good. But we're still not done. One more step. Well, actually, two more. A word of advice, do not push on this buffer. This is not metal like a car. This is paper. So, you know, there's some guys coming over from some of the car channels that I frequent. And I want them to know that everything I do is exactly as you would do it on a car or a motorcycle, except I use less means that I have to sand more. So let's say when you go over to another guy's body channel, and there's many of them, and I really like Bad Chad's skills. He's really got some skills. But the difference between him and I is he can use as much putty and as much primer and as much paint as the car will hold. I can't do that. I have to use the least amount, so it has to be perfect or as close as I can make it from the start to put the thinnest finish on. And when these airplanes go up in a wing over into the sunlight, you can look almost like a window. You can see it, you know, it's obviously it's not clear like glass, but you can see through the wing. I mean, this is just paper. This is not metal or wood. It looks like plastic, but it's paper. This is wood, this is paper. So if you push on that buffer on the paper, you'll catch one of these cap strips and burn it right off and burn right through it. And I haven't done it on camera yet, thank God, but it could happen. Okay, so now I'm a 3M kind of guy. Most everybody knows that. I like 3M products. I use 3M blue fine line tape. There are some other tapes. I use 3M automotive masking tape. I use 3M sandpaper. This is 3M Finesse It, polish 39003. It's 15 thousandths. And I don't know what it is about this stuff, but this stuff here will give a mirror glaze. And you don't need much. If I have any left, I might have to order some more. There we go. You only need about the size of a dime. And I would suggest, if you can, keep your pads separate. So you have one pad for compound, one pad for the next polish up to 10,000, and then one pad for the 15,000. or you can hand polish. And you think, well, this is the last step. No, it's not. There's a lot of rubbing and a lot of polishing, and a lot of sanding to get it finished like this with no paint. Now you see how this is fogging over and it doesn't look very good. Well, that's the chemical that's in it. There's some heavy duty something in it. I don't know what it is. But if you put your nose, it'll make your eyes water. And Wendy always liked that Gorham silver polish. Junk. Much better. This is much better product. You can polish aluminum with it. You can polish steel, whatever. Like I say, it's high petroleum. And you think, well, that's nice. We're done. No, not yet. Now, in order, I mean, this came out nice because if you look over here, if you look at this, if you look here compared to there, big difference. My dad came 2007 to the Nats with me, and I was flying the red, white, and blue Continental XL that I sold to Tim. Yeah, Tim, I think. And it was done in urethane. How thick do you think you end with? Maybe 3,000. This is not 3 mils thick. No. 1 mil is 1,000. No. There's more base on it than top coat. Well, think about it. If you're mixing the paint, and I keep adding thinner, and by the time I'm done, no, it might be 3,000 thick. Yeah, it might be 3 mil thick. You can't feel this. I mean, it's buried. Maybe 3,000. If you keep adding thinner, you start out with 50-50, and then as the paint goes down, you still have more to cover. So you, instead of adding more pigment material, you add more thinner to bring it back up so you can spray it. So it's getting thinner and thinner and thinner. By the end, you're spraying almost straight thinner. How thick could it be? You get 1 quart of paint. 1 quart for the whole model. That includes bare wood. You get a half. You take a half a quart and thin it to 100%. That's what you put on the framework. Put the paper on with, and 3 coats on, and you're using your last quart, your last pint. Actually, it's a pint unthinned as top coat. And you're going to get 3 coats out of it, and that's it. And they're thin coats. I mean, they're thinned down so thin, you'd swear you were spraying straight thinner. But if you watched the video today, you saw when I painted the top of that cockpit area because I needed to get that done so I can put the canopy on. That paint covers in 1 coat. It doesn't matter whether it's over primer, it doesn't matter whether it's over other paint. What happens is it just changes the hue of the paint. So if I'm painting over no primer, it's going to be brighter than a painting over primer, but it will cover it. So there's ways around that too, and that's where these lines and stuff come in. You have to lay your paint job out to mask any type snafus that you put into the airplane. Let's see. Okay, final step. A lot of guys use paste wax. I just use carnauba wax, turtle wax. And when I get the job all done, I will sit on the floor and hand buff this until it sings. And you have to be sitting on the floor to do it, because I move the towel, and I use those blue towels instead of these crappy towels. Maybe I can make it sing up here. I don't know. Let's see. Let me get the microphone down. Maybe you can hear it sing when I get it close. You guys think I'm kidding, but I'm not. I've been doing this a long time, and I've learned a lot of tricks to get the maximum look out of the minimum. Looks like you're on track. I get the maximum shine. Let's see if you can hear it sing. The maximum shine for the least amount of material. No, I can't get it to sing sitting up here. I got to get it on the floor. Get that on my leg. Oh, there it is. Just like polishing a shoe. Okay, let's move over to the next panel. Get the whole thing done, and maybe I can get the whole thing singing. Move this out of the way. 14 and 4. Hit that like button, guys. I'm going to do this spinner too with this stuff. Oh, yeah. Almost like chrome. Now I can just get her dialed in. That's the most important thing. Can I get it dialed in? I think so. I got, this is April, May, June. I got 60 days to get it dialed in. So John and I are going to have to get out to the field. Because I'm sure there's people going to be biting at my heels this year. Hey, nice thing about going to Indiana, there ain't no mask mandate. They got smart. Okay. Now, if you look here, it's dull. Not real dull, but it's dull. It has a haze to it. In order to get that haze out, we'll start with the 5000. Got a haze right in here too. I'm gonna have to work on that. Yeah, well, give her a whirl, Earl. Okay, ultimate compound. I'm sure there's some 3M products that are better than this. I just haven't got them. So we need to swap back to that other pad. Oh, I can feel it too. Hear it and feel it. You guys probably can't hear it, but it's a slight sanding sound. That panel might need to be sanded. But we'll try machine polishing it. Maybe it'll go away and I won't have to sand. It takes just as long to finish an airplane as it longer to build it. So when I said in that other channel that all I do is sand and rub. You know, when I was riding motorcycle, let's see, what was that? That was a 1974, 74-inch shovel head I had. It was a chopper. And I was parked in front of a bar. And I had the rags out and I was polishing on it. And that's back when I looked pretty good. Now I look like hell, just a little old man. But I had long hair and, leathers and all the garb. And I'm polishing on this motorcycle. And this woman walked up to me and said, "Well, I wish my husband would rub on me like you rubbing on that motorcycle." Yeah, I'll bet. Okay, change the pad. Oh, I forgot to tell you. If you see any color come up, stop polishing, because see how the color is coming up there? Move off that area. That means there's not enough clear there. And at this point, I don't want to burn through the color. So, yeah, stop polishing when you see the color come up. That means that you're pretty close to burning through. So let's go to this polish here and we'll get this on here. And I'm going to hand buff that because I'm pulling color. Still might pull color with hand polish. You never know. No, I stopped in time. But the way this thing flew, I think that adding the half ounce to the nose is going to be enough. It kills me though to have to do that. And I know that I needed that 1/4 ounce in the tip weight because I could tell when it goes in the wind how it, I can tell. right away. I was looking, measuring lead outs between the two. Okay, let me explain this. My theory, I'm not an aircraft engineer, just built, a bunch of airplanes. Bench trimming. Lead out position is supposed to be 1 inch behind the center of gravity. So I try to plot lead out location from the center of the lead outs. Hope you can see that. There we are. From the center of the lead outs through the pivot point of the bell crank is where the tip weight box goes. That way, when you give it up, it's not going to be doing this stuff in the corner. It's not going to try to be lining up from centrifugal force. So you want to figure that out. And the airplane flies off the wing. You're trimming the wing. So we have an airplane up there, and I have an airplane behind me, and I know that the center of gravity is supposed to be approximately right there. And we can fudge it a little bit either way. So the bell crank pivot is right there. It's right behind it, right where it's supposed to be. So everything's supposed to be in line. The problem is that I might have to move these lead outs a little bit farther forward or a little bit farther back from where they are now. And I was looking at the other airplane trying to measure off the trailing edge. Where is that line at? So I measured up here 6 3/8 and over, and that's where the other back lead out is, 6 3/8. But it's a finite trim from airplane to airplane, because this is was a living object, meaning densities of the wood are in different spots. And that's why no two airplanes fly alike. You build two airplanes with the exact weight wood that weigh exactly the same, put the exact same amount of paint on. They're both straight as a whip. They both fly well, but they won't fly the same because of density of material. If you take a piece of wood and you think, well, this is 5-pound wood, and you start, it's 36 inches long, you should be able to measure 18 inches, and that'd be the center of gravity. Not necessarily. It might be an inch one way, it might be 2 inches the other way. Depends on the density of the balsa. So what I'm getting at here is, even though this wing is built just like that wing, just like that wing, and just like that wing, this airplane is 61, 58, 3 ounces, then 3.5 ounces heavier. That 3.5 ounces is probably in the tail. That's why it's tail heavy. When you start adding that weight in the nose, you're going to get that lunker feeling that I hate. So I got to get it balanced to do the least amount of damage in the way it performs. Now that didn't turn out bad. I mean, I'm going to have to hand polish this area here, though, because that red is coming up. And be forewarned, you don't need clear to get shine. So if this had no clear on it whatsoever, it would still shine like this. Clear seals and gives you depth. But the dope, nitrocellulose, is film melted with lacquer thinner. So it's plastic. So that red dope, or the yellow dope, or the white dope will shine. That's what was so nice about Aerogloss. Didn't need any clear. It shined like a bitch. There it is. Can you hear that singing? Squeaking? She'll sing, boy. Well, I got 1/4 done. Okay, that was that was that? Yeah, that was a 3M. So now we'll hit it with this. We'll do the whole wing, make the whole wing sing, or try to get it to sing. I'm only going to go on for an hour, so about another 25 minutes. I've already put in my 5 hours today of on camera. So we're working on the 6th hour, but that's not all I've worked. I did start cleaning this place up. I got to do the bathroom. I got to do the sink. They want it spotless. I guess they want to make sure I'm not tearing it up. You think, well, is this worth it? It is to me. I mean, I set it down on the tarmac. If you look right in there, you can see the light, how much better it shines now. Get that 36-inch finish going. Back in the day, motorcycles, you get this out in the sun, you hold a ruler up here, and you lean the ruler, and how far up you lean the ruler is how deep the finish is. So if you have a 2-inch, this is probably a 6-inch finish, but you ever heard the adage 36-inch finish? That means you could read the top of a yardstick off the finish like a mirror. And that car that Chad painted, the Jaguar, probably had a 24-inch finish, but that takes material. That takes paint. Got a lot of dust on this. And I'm not willing to sacrifice finish for weight. So you got to get the most out of what you can get out of using the material that I allow you, if you want to finish light. 1 quart of paint. That's it. Use as much thinner as you like. 1 quart of paint. So let's take a look and see what the difference is between the two. And I can see a big difference. You may not be able to on camera, but I can see a huge difference. Let's turn it this way now. Let's see. See, it's shiny, but it's flat. It doesn't have that polished look. And that comes from being green when I did it the first time. You see the difference? Look in the red stripe on that side. Look in the red stripe on this side. It's flat. So we're gonna fix that. I noticed something else on this that I don't care for. I'm not going to tell you because I don't want Jim Lynch to go, hey, what are we going to do about that? We ain't going to do nothing about it, is what it is. Another thing, I wish I wouldn't have used Dr. Pepper font for my AMA number. I don't care for that font really, but it is their font. Look right here. Let's see. Hit that like button, guys, and while you're down there, make sure to ring the bell for notifications. I know most of you guys do, or you wouldn't be here, but I got to get that number up. Let's see. I'm trying to get that thing to candle so you can see it. There's a spot right here that would really show if I could show it on camera, but it doesn't seem to show up. But we'll see if we can get it out of it. So I was working with what the last time? What pad was I working with? I need that other pad. This is the heavy pad. Oh, good. I didn't go the other way. That's a good thing. Yeah, that's polish. That's compound. I want to go to compound first. You guys like how I'm color coordinated? Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper. And I'll have a Dr. Pepper can in my hand. Remember, if you start seeing paint, quit rubbing. If you start seeing color, you've gone burnt through the clear when you start to see color. If you see black, it's the ink line going away. If you see red, it's the stripe or whatever you're buffing on. And it ain't worth another coat of clear to me to add another ounce just for a little bit better shine. So you got to get the shine by elbow grease. I'm going to start selling elbow grease by the can. I see that I fell down on my sanding right here where I should have sanded that out before I painted it, but I didn't. So as I've stated in the past, every airplane just built better and better and better. You just got to keep track. Hey, I didn't do this on the last one, so. See, that's hot. What you're doing with this pad is you're melting the paint. Bringing the heat up. I'm demonstrating these techniques so that you guys can do it, but be very careful. I got a lot of experience. If you push too hard on this paper, it'll rip it right up. See, I'm not pushing, I'm holding it back. I would hate to see you smoke your airplane. And I could do it here. I don't want to show you how it's done though. And we got another charged battery when this one dies. That's good. So we want to go with the compound again. We'll go over here to this panel. I'm gonna do all the rubbing and then do the polishing on the whole panel twice. And instead of like I said, I do this in quarters or eighths or ever how you want to look at it. It's really eighths, but we do it in quarters, quarter, 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 and then go do the fuselage. Or pick a spot and stay with it. Don't start here and then go over there. You'll never get it done. You'll miss a spot. Let's see. We'll go till 9 o'clock. Then I can eat dinner. I'll try to get up early and get all the stuff done I need to get done. And I'll try to come back online. I won't be rubbing on this tomorrow. I'll be sanding. I just want to get this ready for Tuesday. Tuesday's a club meeting. We'll go and do another test flight. I'll probably air it again. See if my theory was correct. I'm going to take you through all the trimming of this airplane. You've seen it born, an hour a day. You saw it painted. Now you're seeing it rubbed. You're going to get to see it trimmed, and you'll get to see it compete at the Nationals. So that's a long. It's a long process. It'll be a year's worth. And that's basically why kids don't do this hobby anymore. It's just too much work. It's too expensive too. This airplane here, I wouldn't sell for $3,000. No way. I got more time than $3,000 in it. Wouldn't sell a Monado for $3,000. You think about it, $3,000 in today's money is 300 in yesterday's money. In the time when 1974, my Dodge pickup cost $5,000. Today's money is $50,000. And my dad used to say, add a zero to everything. Not bad. It'll probably take another, I mean, this will get rubbed out again before the gnats, but I flew my S6B Supermarine one year. You guys seen it, the big guppy. I let Bob Lampione fly it. And I took that to the Nationals. And my buddy Jim says, "You didn't rub out the bottom." That never will happen again. That never will happen again. This thing will be, every airplane I'll take will be polished every square inch. I'm not going to get caught with that. You didn't rub out the bottom. I'll go as far to say this airplane looks as good inside as it does outside. You want to cut it open and look? Of course, we do have video. Okay, so let's go with the ultimate polish now. I think we'll just hand polish this. I don't want to, I don't know, maybe I'll buff it, I don't know. Yeah, we'll buff it. I gotta switch pads though. Where did it go? Where, there it is. Gotta switch to that one. Are there any questions, or you just guys would just like to hear me talk? The only way to a okay. Well, that's good. That's good. That's what they're there for. They are definitely there for educational purposes. I'm not. A lot of guys say they can do it. And that's the whole deal with the forum. I don't know if you remember the forum, but join Stunt Hanger Forum. There's 4,500 guys on there. Many of them know as much as I do. Many, there's a few that know more than I do. There's some national champions and world champions. And then there's some guys that are full of BS. They say they know what's going on, but don't follow them. I show you the results. And that's the purpose of the YouTube videos. And that's why these videos are complete. They're not, I could go, well, I built this and then build it and then show you the airplane, but you wouldn't see how it was done. So they're very boring, very time consuming. But if you want results like this, you have to do what I do. Now, there's many guys that build shinier airplanes, but they're using way more material than I'm using. Kenny Stevens won the concourse. He has a gallon of clear on his airplane. A gallon. That's unthinned. Of course, that airplane's 75 or 80 ounces too. And I'm not willing to go for that. And anybody that says weight don't matter, just don't fly. Yes, the inboard wing is 1 inch longer than the outboard wing. That means I can use less wingtip weight. And you say, well, how can that be? There's more weight on the inboard side. Well, it creates more lift. It carries the weight of the lines. It's the stagger, pitch, and wedge, just like a sprint car. These airplanes are built exactly like a sprint car. They're made to go left. So you point the engine right. That's the pitch. The stagger is the inboard wing being an inch longer, and the wedge is the rudder to give you the crab. Then we have one more tweak with the adjustable lead outs. But I think that kind of works along with the wedge. For you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, a sprint car runs on the right front wheel is bigger than the inboard wheel. So that instead of the torque of the engine on a sprint car when you're in a cross-up will lift the right front wheel. So they're using a bigger wheel to hold it on the ground so they can control it. They also have a jack on the spring to load that wheel. And that's what we're doing here. We're purpose building an airplane to do a job. And if this was an RC airplane, it's the same exact thing, only I would make the wings equal panels. And I would take the 3 degrees offset out of the motor. You might put 1 degree down thrust in it to get lift, and that changes the angle of attack of the wing. But you want the stab at 0, the wing at incidence at 0. You know, these guys talking about 1 degree negative incidence in the stab. Well, that's why we droop the elevators. That gives you the angle of attack you want. And I'd rather do it that way, have it adjustable so that I could put in the amount of droop or zero the elevators to make it track. Because if you build it in, the only way to get it out is to cut it out. But there's some guys that swear by 0 motor offset, 1 degree positive incidence in the stab. No, thanks. Of course, you guys do what you want. But it'd be hard pressed for anybody to compete with me on how many airplanes they built in their life. Now, Billy may be able to beat me by the sheer fact he's about 15 years older than I am, or 10 anyway. Now, Bob Hunt could beat me because he used to build professionally for people. I'm sure Bob has built. Now, look at that wing. See the difference in the shine? Was it worth it? I think so. And I haven't even hit it with the Carnauba yet, or the Finesse. Got to do the same thing to the fuselage. It looks like it's shiny here, but it'll get shinier. Okay, let's hit it with a little Finesse, and then I'll hit it with a Carnauba. So let's put, that's McGuire. We don't want that. Like I say, this Finesse has some heavy petroleum distillates in it. It'll make your eyes water, but it's good for the paint. Come on. Well, that's enough. I guess it's time to get some more. This is real expensive, about $28 a quart. The last time I checked, it's probably $35 a quart, or a pint. Now, 35 a pint. It's like liquid gold. That's good stuff. You know what? Let's try that wool on there. The guys on YouTube, You can look up polishing videos. They swear by these wool pads. So I'm going to try that wool. It's got to be a cut loop wool, not a loop wool. And that's what I got is a cut wool. Where did it go? Yeah. So that's the finesse on there. Let's see what it does. Well, by golly, it does work good. Well, I learned something today. It does work good. It works better than the foam. It does work pretty good. Let's hit it with the carnauba now and make it sing and see what it looks like. Like I say, I can't make it sing till I sit on the floor. Probably need them blue towels instead of these anyway. The Scott Blue Mechanics towels are the best for polishing. People say microfibers. I don't think so. I think the Scott Blue towels are much better. They're kind of pricey as far as towels go, but they work really well. Yeah, that's not going to sing, but I'm getting all the scratches out of it. Well, I hope I get 19 for this. I got enough work in it. I got enough work in it. It ain't a 20 pointer, but it's probably a 19. Well, did it shine any better? I think so. So let's turn it around. Yeah, Yeah, we got us a couple of spots there. Got it. Yeah, I think it came out pretty good. Thank you, Little History. Someday I'll learn how to paint. Best $500 I ever spent. That's great. I've been looking for a jitterbug sander. No, you can't, Gary. You have to fly, judge the airplane, and fly the airplane you bring. One. I did have an incident 2011 where I brought two Thunderbolts to the meet to the, let me show you, to the gnats. Somebody stepped on my stabilizer and cracked the fuselage. Well, you're supposed to fix what you brung right there at the gnats, and there was no way I was going to fix that airplane at the gnats. Just like my just like I did with my Junar when in Huntersville. There was no way I was going to field repair that airplane. So I said to Warren, "Can I fly this one?" He said he was nice enough to let me fly this one instead of trying to field repair it. So that was nice of him. This was probably my favorite airplane that I built. I might build another one. This airplane's using a Geobolt wing, but if I build it again, I'll use this wing. The difference is in chord and wingspan. Well, this picture is terrible. This paint job here, this paint job was so popular, Top Flight stole it from me and put it on their RC Thunderbolt. Kind of bummed me out. You look real close, that's my AMA number right there, ghosted in. They stole my paint job exactly like that on their and this was way before their airplane came out, and I could prove it. This airplane is in, I think, 2007, Win Paul's Stunt History. This is the airplane of mine that's in that book. Maybe, yeah, it was 2007, not 2011. This airplane here. Well, we'll have to wait until we see what Win does, but that was number 3. Number 1 lives in Las Vegas with Joey Matheson. Number 2 is in the dust using hinge glue or canopy cement as hinge glue. flap flew off on a top of an hourglass, and it barrel rolled and hit the pavement and just kept right on going. And then that one there ate it down in Memphis, Tennessee. Got a lot of enjoyment out of it though. Had the same engine that's in this airplane, or no, in the one that I'm building, and it ran this propeller, 1545 Bali. This baby here is a club. You could take that airplane. I don't know, you ever watch them launch free flight airplanes at the Nats? They take them and hold them and they let them go straight up. You could take my Thunderbolt, point it straight up, and let it go, and it would go right into a wing over. No problem. And I'm not exaggerating. That motor had some, I mean, that baby had some thrust. Hey, Jack dug his fingernails into it. He was trying to hold on to it so bad. Okay, let's just hand polish this instead of buff it on the nose, because the nose is pretty good shape. I don't want to sling it all over the place. I've got to clean my plotter up. God. Okay. Now, why did the nose hold its shine better than the wings? Well, there's a simple answer for that. The wings are paper, balsa with paper covering. The nose is wood with fiberglass covering. So basically, this part here is like painting a Corvette. So you can really push on it, not hurt anything, and it'll hold its shine. You can sand the crap out of it. And that's probably one of the best recommendations I can give you is if you're going to build these big stunt airplanes with 60s or 75s in them, make sure that this area right here is super stout. This, I mean, this feels like a baseball bat or a bowling ball. And that'll, if you have a vibrating nose or whatever, give you bad motor runs. Now, there was one comment about the brake of my engine. There was no brake. Exactly. There was no brake. It was on the lean side, that first flight. On the second side, it was just a little lean. But if you listen to the way that I run these Super Tigers, I don't run them in a slobbering rich. I can't fly a 7-second lap like Mike McHenry can. My laps need to be 5.2, 5.3, 13.6 propeller, 13.6 rev up. The Randy Smith Venturi, couldn't tell you what size it is. It doesn't matter. I've been using that Venturi for so long. That setup. I run SIG Champion fuel, 5, 7.5, or 10%, depending on weather. And I think that's probably why it ran away, because I was running 10% and should have been running 5. And the higher in nitro you got to go, the more you got to open it up. So that's why it uses more fuel to slow it down. But the more torque, more power it's putting out. So I'm thinking when we go out again, depending on ambient temperature and and relative humidity, I'm going to make sure I got the right fuel in it, because I do think that's what caused the run to run a little too lean. Not by much, but a little. That polished nice. So we got the front half done. I'm probably going to stay on not much longer. I need to eat dinner. And I'm sure you guys are bored watching me rub on this thing. Could be that I can't remember the guy's name from England. Ah, you're still working on that? Yeah, I'll be working on it all the way to the Nationals time. This airplane was dreamed up after the Nats last year. I sure would like to win the concourse one time in open. Ain't done it yet. Not willing to put the paint on. Been on the front row many times. Well, I'm glad, CW. I guess you're a radio control flyer. I'm going to be building a radio control airplane on the channel. It's supposed to be a Dauntless, but I don't know that I'm going to go that route because it's just too damn big. And I got no room here. Well, make sure you check in for the next build. I'm going to be doing 1 hour a week on a radio control airplane. I am a control line guy, so I can't swap over and become a radio guy. But I am going to build a radio control airplane to attract some of the radio control crowd over here. And it was going to be that Dauntless, but it's just too big. I'll probably end up giving it away. I don't fly radio. I have a radio. I will need some servos. I have the engine that I'm going to use. But it'll be a radio control airplane that's finished just like this, like a control line airplane, not a toy. Well, I think that's about it. See the dirt I got off that thing already? That's oxidation. That's just from today. Probably need to. Might try some home style anodize on the damn thing. Look, I'm gonna look up after I get off here. I'm gonna look up anodizing at home. See if I can do it. Look up on YouTube, anodizing. Gotta be a home kit for anodizing. Well, that's great. Yeah, I'll be starting that RC build here shortly. As soon as I get that one done, the one that I was working on today, and that's next in line. It will be only 1 hour a week though, and the rest will be control line related. I was going to build a Raid Bearcat, but what you got to understand about a Raid Bearcat, it needs to be jigged up and stay jigged up because it's built in a real crazy configuration where it's on a rod system and the wing is built with a fuselage, and you can't, these are built in my hand. You know, I go, well, build a wing, build a stab, build a rudder, build a fuselage, put all the parts together. That's not how a Bearcat's done. He got the craziest method of building I've seen. But I owe him. He has since passed away. I owe him the respect to build that Bearcat. He sent me his molds. I have his skins. I have Al Rabe's muffler, and I have 2 of Al Rabe's canopies. And he expected me to build that airplane, and I'm going to build that airplane. So let's see here. It's over there. John has a Bearcat, but it's the mini Bearcat. Let's see, we want to do what here? I hit this one. There we go, and transition. Make sure you like, subscribe, share my videos, hit the bell for notifications. Please consider becoming a paid subscriber. That's the member button down next to the subscription button. It's $4.99 a month. It helps me out with some of the material. I'm not making a killing at this, guys. You know, I'm lucky to take home $50 a month or whatever. So we're not doing all that great on this, but someday I'll build the channel up to where I'm smoking it like the rest of the guys. I mean, some of them channels I watch, they really rake it in. But we ain't doing very good here. So, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment down there in that box below. It does something for the metrics. And the bell for notification does something for the metrics. So, till I see you again, maybe tomorrow, fair winds, tight lines. Let me see if I can pull that up. See ya.